Right, now let's look at question 11. So here I have 5 symbols that are used in the equation below representing different digits. What is the value of the ampersand? Okay, so first, different digits. For digits, we're talking about single digits. So we have all the digits from 0 to 9. So that means all of these 5 symbols, they are any of the value from 0 to 9, but they're different. So now let's look at the equation. I have 3 @ sign is equal to the start sign, 3 hashtag is equal to the caret, and 1 start sign and 1 caret add up to an ampersand. So over here, one interesting thing is that it's all about threes. So 3 lots of something is 3 lots of something. That will mean that 3 is a key to solve the question. So if 3 @ sign add up to a start sign, that means the start sign will have to be a multiple of 3. And the same is true the caret. That will have to be a multiple of 3 as well. So now, if 2 numbers that are multiples of 3, when you add them up, you will also have a multiple of 3 for sure. So that means our ampersand and the star sign and the caret, they're all multiples of 3. So what are the numbers among like 0 to 9 that are multiple of 3? That is 3, 6, 9. Okay, since you add something to get the kind of ampersand, that means ampersand is the biggest one. So that means ampersand will have to be 9 in this case. Okay. And now let's look at the question number 12. Here, the 2 diagrams shows a side view and a plan view of a tower made with light and dark color blocks. In a tower, only dark color blocks are placed on top of the dark color blocks, and only light color blocks are placed on top of light color blocks. So how many blocks in the tower are light colored? So in this question, first, a plan view is a view that you get when you look from the top. Okay, so since we have this rule, that means for each kind of column, or when you look at here all the way down, you're only going to have a single color blocks. So with the light colored blocks, we can see that they're in like 2 main positions. One is in the second layer, one is in the kind of 4th layer. So for the second layer, since all of the kind of blocks under it has to be light color blocks as well, so there are 2 layers in total. We just need to count how many such kind of columns are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 such kind of 2 light color blocks. That will give you 8 times 2. And then for the one at the 4th layer that we see, we know all the way down, they're all light color blocks. How many layers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 layers. So there's gonna be 1 times 4, lots of them in the kind of middle column. So if you add them up, you're gonna have 16 plus 4, and that's gonna give you 20 as the answer. Okay. Now let's look at question 13. So here the diagram shows a triangle joined to a square forming an irregular pentagon. The triangle have the same perimeter as a square. What is the ratio of the perimeter of the pentagon to the perimeter of the square? Okay, so for this question, as for the kind of a square, a very special thing is that all sides are equal. So if you don't know anything, you can start with letting the side of the square be something. So you can set it as A, or you can just set it as 1. It doesn't matter. So let's assume that all of the sides are 1 for the square. Then we know for the perimeter of the triangle is equal to the perimeter of the square. Then there are 2 approaches here. One is that you just see, okay, so if you add the perimeter of the triangle and the perimeter of the square, you're going to have 4 plus 4 then, because they have the equal perimeter. But what you want is the perimeter of the pentagon. For pentagon, is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. That means the middle 2 are not counted. And we know that they're equal, so it's 1 and 1, so you subtract 2. And that will give you the perimeter of the pentagon, and that is 6. Now you do the ratio of that to the square, and you can just have 6 to 4. That's going to give you 3 to 1. So that's one approach. The other approach is to think that, okay, so for the triangle, the perimeter is also 4 in this case, and the bottom side is 1. That means the sum of these 2 are 3. If the sum of them are 3, then if you add 1, 2, 3, that will still give you 6. It's the same thing. Okay, but all in all for this question, the answer is B. Right, now let's look at question 14. So here, a box contains 7 cards, and each with a different integer from 1 to 7 written on it. Avani takes 3 cards from the box, and then Niam takes 2 cards, leaving 2 cards in the box. So Avani looks at her card and then tells Niam that, I know the sum of the numbers on your card is even. What is the sum of the numbers on Avani's card? Okay, so First of all, Liam take 2 cards. So Avani is basically saying that I know that the 2 number that you take would add up to an even number. So what could those 2 numbers be? For 2 things to add up to even, you can have them as both even. Even plus even is even for sure. You can also have them as odd. Odd plus odd is even as well. Okay, so now I have 7 cards. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Think about how can Avani be so confident to say that, okay, so I know that both of your cards are even. Is that possible? Think about it. Okay, so if Avani is so confident, that means Avani will have to take all the odd number of cards to say that, okay, I know the rest are even. But is it possible? No, there are 4 odd number of cards, while Avani is only taking 3. So that means the first one does not work, right? That means Avani will have to kind of say that, okay, so I know all of your cards are odd number, so they add up to even number. So for that to happen, Avani will have to take all the even number of cards. So there are 3 here. So is that possible in this case? Yes, it is possible. So that means Avani has taken all of these 3 cards, leaving the rest as all odd numbers. So no matter what kind of Liam takes, it's going to be 2 odd numbers. And 2 odd numbers will definitely add up to an even number. Okay, so in this case, you just need to add 2 and 4 and 6, and that is going to give you 12 as the answer. That's 14. Now let's look at question number 15. So here, today Rachel realized the following fact were true. In 2 years' time, her brother Tim will be twice as old as he was 2 years ago. And in 3 years' time, her sister Tina will be 3 times as old as she was 3 years ago. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, so for this question, don't be scared by how many people are there. Actually, Rachel is not kind of part of it. We're just comparing the age of Tina and Tim. So let's analyze these 2 sentences one by one. So in the first sentence, it says, in 2 years' time, her brother Tim will be twice as old as he was 2 years ago. Whenever you see this kind of something will be, something equals, think about equation. Okay, so let's say currently or this year, Tim's age is X and Tina's age is Y. Then for the first sentence, you can have in 2 years' time, that means you have X plus 2. And then brother Tim will be, that means equal sign, twice, 2 times as old as he was 2 years ago. So when he was 2 years ago, that would be X minus 2. Okay, so if you try to solve it, you have X plus 2 is equal to 2X minus 4. Don't forget to kind of multiply the 2 as well. And then if you rearrange it, you have X is equal to 6. So that's for Tim. And now let's look at Tina. So for Tina, in 3 years' time, so 3 years' time, that means Y plus 3 will be, again, will be is like the equal sign, 3 times as old as she was 3 years ago, okay? 3 times in bracket, 3 years ago, that would be Y minus 3. Now you just need to solve this equation. Y plus 3 is equal to 3Y minus 9. That means 2Y is 12, and that means Y is 6. Okay, so you see that X is 6, Y is 6. That means currently Tim and Tina, they're both 6. As they're of the same age, it would not change as years goes by. Okay, so for this question, you just need to vote for C, where it says Tim is the same age as Tina. Right, so that's all 5 questions.